What's up? Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. Thank you. So here we have it, guys. We have a leaked image of Transformers Legacy Armada Optimus Prime and more leaked images that I'm going to show you now in a moment. This looks fantastic. I'm very excited about it. I grew up at the time that Armada was on the air, so this is great to see a much better articulated Optimus Prime and a super mode Optimus Prime that combines with this trailer from Armada. I'll show you some of the clearer images now in a moment, but before I do, I just want to hone in on this trailer. Nobody that I've seen online has talked about this yet, particularly with the lines that you're seeing here and what you're seeing here with this hinge. This to me suggests that this is the remold, retool, whatever you may call it, that the designers were talking about from Motor Master. That trailer looks really similar to the Motor Master trailer with the way it's laid out, and I wouldn't be shocked if this is a retool or remold from that figure itself. So we'll get into some clearer images because someone has this figure and allegedly is auctioning it online, which has some people upset about that because some individuals are very sanctimonious and they don't like people getting early reviews. They seem to not like that whatsoever, but they will use their images and talk about it in their own videos and then monetize those videos. Complete hypocrites in my opinion, because it's on Hasbro to get ahead of these leaks. This is what the company should be doing. It should be revealing these characters instead of playing tiddlywinks with people and setting up streams long after these things have been leaked out. They know at this stage that these things are being made in the factory and that people are going to bring them out and they are going to sell them online. They know that by now. So no matter how much complaining you want to do to the company, that you can sit on a round table with them and complain to them about what's going on as if you're some sort of company man on the payroll for them, that's not going to change things, and ultimately you're still using their images to then talk about it in your own video. So this sanctimony that I'm seeing from the likes of the Slag podcast, totally out there in my view. So let's talk about Optimus Prime. I really like this figure because I grew up at the time that Armada was airing. I always liked this design for Optimus Prime. It was different, and I think, to be quite honest with you, a lot of people haven't honed in on this either, which is, I think that in years to come, with what we're seeing with the Studio series branching out into the War for Cybertron games, we're going to see it in Armada. I think that's why the minicons have been left out, and some of these characters feature little inaccuracies to the show so that they can eventually use them in Studio series. That's my opinion. It might not be the opinion shared by most. This is accurate enough to the show, but it is missing the minicon. This is Optimus in his core mode. Looks absolutely fantastic, and I grew up at the time when Optimus Prime in this mode was essentially a brick. So to see this articulation is wonderful, and it just excites me for Megatron that's going to be coming very soon. I really like Starscream, I like Hotshot, so the Armada cast has worked really well with me so far. I really like it, and I'm looking forward to seeing more, especially Tidal Wave, because we all know that he's going to come along. Optimus looks great here. The Matrix is sculpted in and also removable from the chest. I love that, and I think the way that Prime looks here is quite accurate to the TV show. I think the only thing that he's missing really, and a lot of people have been talking about it, is the minicon. Minicon has been something that's been a big talking point. Another big talking point that's going to come along, and personally for me, this is where they can utilize this again in Studio series, are the eyes. The eyes should be red, and you'll see that in an image now in a moment that I have. Another interesting thing that I noticed was that the ability for the little hole to retract into the hand isn't there. Now that might have something to do with the fact that this is also attached to the foot of Optimus Prime, because as you can see here, the robot just transforms like it does in the show, with the feet then becoming the hands for the super mode and the head coming out here. I'm not a big fan of this clear plastic that's been used here, and a while ago on a stream they talked about it, about whether they should keep using clear plastic. No is the answer to that. It's too fragile, it's brittle, and you should be just using the coloured plastic, and that's it. It's more sturdy in my view. I don't get the fascination with the clear plastic. Overall though, this super mode looks wonderful because, as I said, the original was a complete brick. Once you put it into combined modes, there was no movement in the legs at all, and there was minimal movement in the arms. So to see this type of dynamic posing, and this is as dynamic as it probably gets, maybe there might be a waist swivel in there, this is great. I really like it. Here it is in alternate mode, in truck mode, and I think we get a clearer image here. I personally really do think that this is retooled, remolded from the Motormaster Commander class figure. This is what I was talking about here. This for me would be a concern because the connection obviously to the super mode is in and around here. Anytime I see clear plastic like this, it makes me shudder because this is going to be a weak point for the toy. Are these things built with inherent design flaws? To me, the fact of the matter is this: the designers know that clear plastic is weak and that it's fragile, and over time it is going to break. So I hope that they're using different materials, or going to go with something different going forward. I also do personally think that if this wasn't clear plastic and it was, say, grey plastic that's painted, I think that would look a lot better then, and that wouldn't look so obvious the way that there's a robot obviously inside that, you know what I mean? I think it'd look way better. The alternate mode, though, I will say this, does look fantastic, and as someone that's a fan of Armada with the weird truck designs and car designs that they had in that TV show, I'm really excited by this. It's not often that an alternate mode looks this dynamic and this cool, and they've gotten it spot on. Here we have Optimus Prime here in his cab mode, the hands sticking out. I'm not too unhappy about that because, to be quite honest with you, Prime was pulling his trailer in the majority of the time in the show. If not, the cab is going to be facing forward. You're not really going to see that. But I would say that, given the fact that the price of these commander classes are quite high at this stage, it is something to be expected that these things should be covered up. The fact that you're not given a minicom with this either says an awful lot too. And I mean, thinking back when I was a kid and buying that original Optimus Prime, the fact it came with a minicon, it was also larger and it had a transformation gimmick in the toy too, and it was less. They're asking for more money for this. As far as I'm concerned, double the money as what it would have been years ago. I know people would say, well, inflation and all that, but years ago you would have gotten this for in and around 40, 45 euro, maybe even a little bit less, and now they'll probably be asking for over 120 euro for this, because the last couple of commanders have been really expensive here in Ireland. So to me, Sparkplug Minicon should absolutely have been coming with this. There's no effects either for the blaster, and this was a blaster that was quite dynamic in the show. The fact that it had different colours. There's also as well a power that Optimus had in the show, which was when he united his two fists, that a beam came from those as well. Nothing from that either. So that's a little bit disappointing, obviously, because it just seems like it's a bit bare minimum and no minicon. A lot of these characters haven't had minicon parts on them either, which does lend credence to what I was saying with them using these characters later on down the road in studio series. Like I said, as you can see here in this image, Optimus's eyes are red. That is a very small detail, but believe you me, that is something that fans notice. And like I said, it's very clear and obvious. To me, the team are so involved that they should have noticed that. And the fact that they didn't allows them then to go back later on down the road and say, okay, we're going to correct that mistake. Maybe we might add a minicom port here. Maybe we won't have clear plastic here. And all of a sudden, you've got a studio series, Commander Class Armada Optimus Prime. Listen, Hasbro are a capitalistic company, and I understand what they are trying to do there and potentially trying to do. I'm not saying that they are definitely doing that, but that just is what it looks like to me. I'd be concerned, I won't lie to you, about the fact that this is clear plastic. I hope it's not too involved in the likes of transformation or anything like that, because I can see this being a disaster class. From the last couple of commanders that we've had, a lot of people have bought two, and maybe that's a business ploy from the company, because there were some issues with Menasor and people did buy two, one to have in Stunticon singular mode and then one to have in Menasor combined mode. Maybe there is a bit of that going on, I don't know, but certainly I would be quite concerned about clear plastic here playing an integral part here in the design. Overall though, the core robot looks fantastic. Everything about this looks really good. I'm excited about this. This is accurate even with the knees. I know an awful lot of people weren't happy with the prototype. The fact that the prototype that was shown a number of years ago had like knee guards. That's accurate to the show. There are a couple of other things that are about it that could be a little bit more accurate to the show. Like as far as I know here, this should be yellow or gold, whatever it might be. Anyway, don't do gold plastic, Hasbro, because we all know about gold plastic syndrome. But there are a couple of little things there that they could tweak later on down the road to make it more accurate. Hopefully they'll catch the eyes in time and the eyes will be red, because if not, I think that that's a bit of a missed opportunity. But it would say to me that maybe later on down the road they will do a studio series version of these characters, because I think that that's kind of what they're shaping them for now at the moment, and I could see it being done. It seems like they're in between what they wanted to do with Legacy. It seems like that they've gone away from the Minicon concept just to enter these characters into a G1-ified line, but at the same time then the comments about Bulkhead and RC seem to have been taken on board. So I could have imagined this being stylized a little bit different and them releasing it in a different way later on down the road. Like I said, in studio series that was going to be full on accurate. And I think maybe those initial complaints about Bulkhead and RC maybe might have changed their plans or altered them very slightly, because this to me is something that's overlooked. It's something small, but it does mean an awful lot to the fans. Overall though, it's a purchase. Listen, I think it looks phenomenal in alternate mode. I think it looks phenomenal in core mode, and I think it looks phenomenal in super mode. I grew up with this. I'm excited to add it. A lot of people will probably be saying out there that they're going to wait until this goes on sale. I can see that point there. Obviously, to me, €120 for this isn't worth that price. It's just not. Is it going to be scarce though? That's going to be something that's going to be interesting to note, because the major retailer here in Ireland is scaling back on Transformers, and they're scaling back on them because a lot of them have gone to clearance, a lot of them have gone to being on sale. I think it's interesting times ahead. They're going to have to keep giving characters that people like. They're going to have to keep recycling certain characters like Optimus, Megatron, and this is just another one in a long line of, hey, there's a little error there and we can fix it later on, and it'll probably be entered into it. Like I said, just harkening back, studio series, that War for Cybertron to me has now opened it up to TV series, is now being entered into that, no problem. So let me know what you think in the comments about this. Are you excited about this? Which mode is your favourite? What do you think ultimately about different characters in the Commander class scale that are not G1? I'm personally hyped about this. I really like this and I want to see more. I know an awful lot of people have been talking about Tidal Wave. I think Tidal Wave will be in the Commander class. That is the correct scale, by the way, because of the way he combines with Megatron. And in the cartoon, he was only a little bit taller than Megatron. He wasn't the colossal city-sized Transformer that some people seem to think he was. But what do you think will be the next Commander after Armada Optimus Prime? Will you be purchasing it? What do you think of the price tag? What do you think of the clear plastic that's being used here? And what do you think about the red eyes? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. And I'll talk to you later. Good luck.